unexpected. Step down from the throne, oh Lord. Lower than the angels, but no one else could save us, 'cause you are God alone.
What up, everybody? This is Sivion, Deep Space 5, Elect Recordings. You're in the mix with Trackstarz Radio. Peace.
All right, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Seantana, DJ Jeremiah. Man, we just holding it down for Jeremiah today. Of course, we are wearing the tuxes again for our boy's wedding. He just got married. Yeah. So we kept them on, you know what I'm saying, to celebrate, man. Celebrating our boy Jeremiah.
I had to beg for that.
What?
To be in unison today.
Yeah, man, because I'm hot.
I said the jacket was an option.
It's still hot, man.
Well, and I take that tie off because I'm trying to breathe. So I'm good.
Yo, okay, so we got one more noteworthy for you guys today. Like I said, we got a bunch of noteworthies this week, man. I love it. I love this segment. And of course, we're gonna start doing dissects again and all that kind of stuff too. But man, when y'all send in questions that are, you know, on your heart, I want to make sure I get to them as soon as possible. So, all right, this one is called "Keeping Good Company While Trying to Be a Light in the World." It says, "Hey, what's up, Trackstarz? I listen to you guys every day and really appreciate what you do. I'm 12 years old and was just recently baptized, and I'm pretty much the only kid in my church who was baptized and under 14 or 15. I just listened to that Resisting Temptation Noteworthy you guys did and thought it was great until one of the women speaking, I don't know her name, said, you can't associate with people that aren't affirming what you know to be true. However, aren't we supposed to be doing the opposite? Didn't Jesus come for the lost? I go to an extremely worldly middle school where basically everybody cusses, is dating one another, making out, or going even further. These are the kind of people I associate with because I'm trying to shine a light on them. I know I was once like them and I feel like I can have a positive influence. Do you think it's right to do what I'm doing? Because I'm also experiencing a lot of temptation doing what I'm doing. I'm surrounded by only people who are very un-Christ-like, and sometimes it's difficult for me to figure out if I should take a different approach. Do you think I should just stick with what I'm doing or change my strategy? I've also been reaching out to people right and left, yet no one around me is interested in God. So to go along with my other issue, I haven't been able to effectively reach out to others, although I have been trying very hard. Overall, do you guys think I should change my approach in both hanging out with ungodly kids and trying to reach out to kids? Thank you. So this one is keeping good company while trying to be a light in the world. What y'all think?
Wow. Honestly, I recently have been thrown into circles like that. My circles have changed drastically to where I'm around more people that are not Christian than are Christians. And I discovered that I needed balance. It's good to be around people that aren't saved. You do want to be a light. The Bible does tell us to do that. But you have to be careful and know where you are, because you can be heavily influenced. And I noticed bad habits that I had gotten rid of started to kind of resurface in subtle ways. Like I started kind of having a language issue again. And that's, within the past few months, to be honest. And I had to say, this is not right, but I was hearing it every day, all the time, every day, all the time. And that used to be an issue for me, and it started to come back. And I said, God, this is not good. So I knew it was important for me to have balance, because you need that Christian support system. You need your Christian brothers and sisters, friends that can kind of hold you down and keep you accountable and to kind of refuel you before you go out there. And you may not be ready to enter into certain circles. So I think that it's important to be a light, but you don't want to stumble in the process, because then you'll end up not helping anyone at all and also falling yourself.
Wait, first of all, who said that?
What?
Who said what?
They said that somebody said you can't associate with people that aren't affirming what you know to be true. So some girl said it.
It had to be Maya.
Maya said that?
If it wasn't Lauren.
I'm trying to remember that. I guess I remember that. I want to remember what the context was of that. But
yeah, that sounds like a Maya. Yeah. And I think too, I definitely want to just give you commendation for being 12 years old and being so sold onto the Spirit, because that's rare. I mean, I remember being 12 years old, and it was just, youth choir, you sing about Jesus and go home. We weren't actually involved, and there were no shows like Trackstarz out there for me to listen to that could get me, that could speak to me on the level that I was on. So, and then also I would say this, when I was 12 years old, the world was a different place. It was not what you're experiencing today. So it's just amazing that you're so dedicated to what you're doing. And I don't know what you say your approach is, but you have to approach in love. If that's something that you're doing, as long as you're not being combative with the word, as long as you're not judging others when they are sinning or when they're living differently, then you're on a good path to reach the lost. I mean, that's exactly what we're called to do, and I think you have a good footing for that. The only thing I would just caution you of is hanging around the wrong people. Like, for me, I grew up with some brothers that were really secular, but I have, for the number of friends that I have that are not saved, that are not believers, that are not walking out the word, I have like a dozen Christian friends. So when I hear something that doesn't sound right to me, or my spirit doesn't, or my spirit wants to go in a different direction, I'm like, wait a minute, let me talk to the 12 and find out what they have to say about this. And so you have to keep that balance of people around you. If you don't have as many friends that believe what you believe, then I would say you definitely need to start fishing for that.
Yeah, that's definite. When I was 12 years old, I was a minister, and I was trying my very best at the time to witness to people and go out and tell people who Jesus was. I was in the middle of like projects preaching about Christ and stuff like that, and it was all I could do to try my best to reach the lost, but at the same time I had this thing where I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be, friends with people who were popular and things of that nature. So one of the biggest things that I wish I would have done from like 12 to at least, 16, maybe 17, before I actually kind of fell off when I got to college, was to really like inundate myself with God's word and really do my best to be a stronger individual and have some confidence in who I am as a person. I believe I started to, try to be like everybody else because I didn't have self-confidence, and I didn't have confidence in knowing that who I was in Christ was actually a powerful and an awesome individual. And that really, that something about being liked and something about being accepted called out to me. And I would want to just caution you that even though you're in this crowd, you are a different person. You're an awesome, phenomenal individual because you're linked to an awesome king. And because you're linked to that king, it makes you a very special person as well. So when you go out, just know that you don't need to be accepted. Just keep focusing on Christ, man. And you can stay in these crowds. You can be a part. You can engage with the environment, but at the same time, you can lead them to Christ if you're not so influenced and wanting to be accepted.
Yeah, first of all, to answer your question, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're supposed to go out and be like Jesus and reach people who are lost. So I don't want you to get confused about that. I think what Ryan said is what I guess Maya was trying to say, is that you do have to have a group of people that you can rely on, that you can talk things out with. If you can't find any in the meantime, we're your group of people, and that's what you're doing. And this is an example of what you would be doing with your friends if you can find them. I know my sister had this problem in high school and even in college now, where she feels sometimes like she's the only one that has this level of love and loyalty to God. So what do you do when you feel like you are the only one and you have all this mess around you? What are you supposed to do? And that's where I think that what I've seen is you actually have to ask God for it. I think some things we feel like, oh, it's like, yeah, find those friends, but it's like, find them where? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Sometimes you actually have to pray and say, God, please bring people in my life, that think like me and love you like me, so I can have some. I had to do that. I mean, I think I told Ryan, I remember when I didn't have any guy friends that I can lean on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I asked God, because I'm not good with guys. Like, me and my dad didn't have like the closest relationship, so I didn't really learn how to, get along with guys. Ryan had a great relationship with his dad, and I think it came more naturally to him. So God kept bringing people around me who can break down my barrier and just walk right through it and not care. You know what I'm saying? Because I always had that shyness about me that's like, I couldn't make friends. Friends needed to make me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to ask God to bring those people around me that would just see right through whatever wall I had up and just come right in. And I think that's what you need as well. I mean, being 12 years old, what was I doing when I was 12? Cause I mean, I feel you. I mean, it's not like you're alone. Like I was thinking a lot like this when I was 12 too. Yeah. But I don't know. And Ryan is right. Your world is a little different than my world was. I mean, social media is crazy, and I think the kids around you, the reason you're seeing so much activity like this is because they could see it very easily on their phone, and on their laptop, and where I couldn't see stuff as easily. Yeah. And you know what I mean? I had more of a buffer before I started seeing crazy stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So once you start seeing crazy stuff, that's when your interest starts popping, and so I feel you. It's tough that what you're in, but I think God chose an awesome person to deal with it because you're great. You know what I mean? Like, this letter shows that you're great. So we're praying for you. Any other questions you have, just ask. Anything specific, just ask. I think you're doing a great job. Just make sure that if you ever, to me, it's like I refer to it in my mind as heat checks. Like, you always got to check to where your heart is, because remember, God says guard your heart. You know, that's the most important thing. So if you're guarding your heart and you realize, you know, talking to people and blah blah blah, and you start realizing, oh man, I'm cursing more today. Why am I doing that? that's a heart check. That's a heart issue, because you may have let something into your heart that you didn't realize was getting in there. That's what happens with the music. You let things into your heart, the shows, the whatever stuff starts seeping in, and you start seeing it come out. That's a heart check time. If you start seeing yourself acting anything like any of these people or desiring what they have, you want to be cuddled up in wherever you said these people were kissing and doing more. You start feeling like you want to do that. That's a heart check. Oh, crap. What's going on in there? Like, that's when you fall back. It's not time to minister. It's time to rebuild and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you always got to constantly do heart checks. Where's my heart? Am I starting to feel like God is not real? Am I starting to feel like I don't care anymore? Am I starting to give up? Like, you got to find out where your heart is before you start just telling people what to do and, you know, witnessing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And most importantly, you have to keep yourself nourished spiritually, and the only way you can do that is to stay in your word. Because I know even now, because when I was 12, I was there. I got saved when I was like 7 years old. So sometimes you will go through lonely seasons where there's no one around. And